Toyota hybrid patent, Toyota eCVT patent, Prius planetary gear patent, Toyota hybrid dominance. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Toyota didn't dominate the hybrid market for 2 decades because they made the best hybrids. They dominated because they legally prevented everyone else from making hybrids the right way. In 1997, Toyota filed a patent so brilliantly written that it locked up the most efficient hybrid transmission design for 20 years. Every other car company had to either pay Toyota licensing fees, engineer around the patent with inferior designs, or just give up on hybrids altogether. And that one patent is the reason you see so many Priuses on the road and so few everything else. Stick with me, because I'm going to break down exactly what Toyota patented, why it was so important, and what happened the second that patent expired. You're going to understand why Ford had to pay Toyota to build their hybrids, why Honda's system works so differently, and why suddenly in the last few years everyone's launching competitive hybrids when they couldn't before. If you want to understand the business and engineering strategy that actually shapes what cars you can buy, hit subscribe. This is the kind of story that explains the entire industry, and almost nobody talks about it. Let's go back to 1997. Toyota launches the first-generation Prius in Japan. It's weird-looking, it's small, but the technology inside is revolutionary. At the heart of it is something Toyota called the hybrid synergy drive, and the key component is a planetary gear set that blends power from a gasoline engine and 2 electric motor generators without any clutches or belts. This system, the eCVT, is mechanically simple and incredibly efficient. It's durable because there are no friction surfaces wearing out. It's smooth because there are no gear shifts, and it works brilliantly in city traffic where hybrids need to shine. Toyota knew they had something special, so they didn't just patent the specific gear arrangement, they patented the concept of using a planetary gear set to split power between an internal combustion engine and electric motors for a hybrid vehicle. That's a really broad patent, and it was airtight. Here's what that meant in practice. If you were Honda, GM, Ford, anyone, and you wanted to build a hybrid that could seamlessly blend engine and electric power without a complex transmission, you had 2 choices: license the technology from Toyota and pay them for every car you built, or engineer something completely different that didn't infringe on the patent. Ford chose option 1. Starting in 2004, Ford licensed Toyota's hybrid technology to build the Escape hybrid and later the Fusion hybrid. They literally paid Toyota for every hybrid they sold. Ford was helping their direct competitor make money because they couldn't figure out a better way around the patent. Think about that. Toyota was getting paid by Ford to compete against Toyota. That's how strong that patent was. Honda chose option 2. They engineered their own hybrid system that worked completely differently. Their early Insight and Civic hybrids used a simple integrated motor assist, 1 electric motor sandwiched between the engine and transmission. It was less sophisticated than Toyota's setup, less efficient, but it didn't infringe on Toyota's patent. Honda's newer 2-motor system, the one in the current Accord hybrid, is much better, but they had to wait until they could design something that worked around Toyota's intellectual property. That took years and millions in R&D. GM tried a different approach with the Chevy Volt. They made it a plug-in range extender, where the gas engine mostly acted as a generator. Different enough to avoid the patent, but also more complex and expensive. And the Volt never sold in huge numbers, partly because of that cost. Nissan just avoided the hybrid game entirely for years and went straight to full electric with the Leaf. Easier to design around a patent if you don't use a gas engine at all. Meanwhile, Toyota kept selling Priuses, Camry hybrids, Highlander hybrids, and licensing the tech to others. They had a monopoly on the most efficient hybrid architecture, and they used it to dominate the market for 2 decades. Here's a number that shows how effective this was. Between 1997 and 2017, Toyota sold over 10 million hybrids worldwide. Their closest competitor, Honda, sold maybe 2 million. Everyone else combined didn't even come close. Toyota owned the hybrid market, and a huge part of that was because nobody else could legally build a system as good as theirs. Now let's talk about what happened when the patents started expiring. Patents last 20 years from the filing date. Toyota's core eCVT patents started expiring around 2017 to 2018, and suddenly the market changed. Hyundai launched the Ioniq Hybrid in 2017 with a dual-clutch hybrid transmission. Kia followed with the Niro. Both systems were more advanced than their previous attempts and clearly influenced by what Toyota had been doing for 20 years. Honda refined their two-motor system and put it in the Accord, CR-V, and Civic. It's now genuinely competitive with Toyota's setup and in some ways better for driving feel. Even luxury brands got in the game. BMW, Mercedes, Audi all started launching plug-in hybrids and mild hybrids with more sophisticated designs than they'd used before.
Was this all because the patent expired? Not entirely. Battery costs came down, emissions regulations got stricter, customer demand increased. But the fact that Toyota's legal stranglehold ended definitely opened the floodgates. Suddenly, competitors could look at Toyota's homework, learn from it, and design systems that incorporated some of the same principles without risking a lawsuit. The playing field leveled. But here's the thing. Even with the patent expired, Toyota still has a 20-year head start. They've been refining the eCVT since 1997. They've built millions of them. They know every possible failure mode. They've optimized manufacturing. They have supplier relationships locked in. Their system is proven over billions of miles. A competitor can now legally build something similar, but they're starting from scratch in terms of real-world experience. That's why Toyota hybrids still have the best reputation for reliability. It's not just the engineering, it's 2 decades of field data and continuous improvement. Let me give you a specific example of how the patent shaped design choices. Look at the Chevy Volt. Brilliant car in a lot of ways, but it used a complex dual-motor system with a planetary gear set and multiple clutches to avoid infringing on Toyota's simpler single planetary design. The Volt's transmission was more complicated, more expensive to build, and less durable than Toyota's, and a big reason for that complexity was patent avoidance. If GM could have just copied Toyota's eCVT, the Volt would have been cheaper and simpler. But they couldn't, so they had to engineer around it, and the result was a more fragile system. The Volt is discontinued now, and transmission issues were part of why it never caught on. Here's another angle. Toyota didn't just patent the eCVT. They filed hundreds of related patents covering control strategies, battery management, motor design, cooling systems, everything around the hybrid system. It was a patent fortress. Competitors couldn't just copy one thing. They had to avoid a whole web of intellectual property. This is standard practice in the auto industry, but Toyota did it better than anyone else with hybrids. They saw the future, protected every aspect of it, and then sat back and collected both sales revenue and licensing fees while everyone else scrambled. And you know what? I kind of respect it. They invested in the technology when nobody believed in it. The first Prius lost money. It was a bet on the future, and they protected that bet with airtight legal work. That's smart business. But it also meant that for 20 years, if you wanted the most efficient, most reliable hybrid system, you basically had to buy a Toyota or Lexus. There were no real competitors, and that let Toyota charge a premium, because what were you going to do? Buy a less efficient hybrid from someone else? Now here's what this means for you if you're shopping for a car today. If you want a hybrid with a proven, ultra-reliable transmission, Toyota and Lexus are still the safest bet. 20-plus years of development and refinement, millions of cars on the road. We know these systems last 300,000 miles. But if you want the newest technology, the most refined driving experience, or the best features, the competition is caught up. Honda's latest hybrid system is excellent. Hyundai and Kia are building genuinely good hybrids now. They learned from Toyota's 2-decade head start and skipped straight to refined versions. The patent expiration also means used hybrids from other brands are becoming safer bets. A 2018 or newer Hyundai Ioniq or Kia Niro uses mature technology that's been improved over several generations. It's not the Wild West anymore. And here's the insider knowledge almost nobody talks about. Some newer non-Toyota hybrids are actually using designs that are suspiciously similar to Toyota's now that the patents have expired. The basic planetary gear concept is fair game now, so you're seeing hybrid systems from other manufacturers that operate on similar principles, even if the implementation details are different. That's why if you compare a 2025 Honda Accord hybrid to a 2025 Camry hybrid, the efficiency and driving experience are a lot closer than they were 10 years ago. The gap has narrowed because Honda can now legally use ideas that Toyota monopolized for 2 decades. Here's the thing that blows my mind. Toyota could have kept this technology to themselves forever. They didn't have to license it to Ford, but they made a strategic choice. They licensed it to competitors at a price, which gave them revenue and also helped normalize hybrids in the market. More hybrids on the road meant more charging infrastructure, better acceptance, better resale values. Toyota played the long game. They knew that even if Ford was selling hybrid escapes, most people shopping for hybrids would still buy a Prius because it had the better reputation, and they were right. Now, 28 years after that original patent, Toyota is still the hybrid king. They sell more hybrids than anyone else, they have the strongest reputation, and even though the legal monopoly is over, the market dominance continues. That's the power of getting there first, protecting your innovation, and then executing flawlessly for 2 decades while everyone else played catch-up. If you want to understand the business and legal strategy that shapes what cars actually make it to your driveway, subscribe. This stuff matters way more than horsepower and 0 to 60 times. Share this with anyone who thinks Toyota just got lucky with hybrids. Luck had nothing to do with it. It was brilliant engineering protected by even more brilliant legal strategy. Every car has a story, and this one made Toyota billions while everyone else paid rent to compete.